Hello everyone, it is Heath with the Groovy Gold Hunter, and I am doing another pay dirt review on a new one I've never done before. I was suggested to buy this company's pay dirt, so I went ahead and did that. Just came in the mail today. This is Vendetta Prospecting, and we'll open it up and see what we got. Alright, so let's crack it open, see what we got going on in here. This was a $70 bag of pay dirt. The shipping was free, and I will say that this is called the Unknown. Dirt type, the Unknown, gold added 1 gram. It was $73, shipping was free, and I think I ordered it Thursday, and this is Monday. So yeah, this thing came quick. 1 gram of gold added. Ooh, artisanal small batch pay dirt made in Arizona, USA. So we got some Arizona pay dirt. So let's crack it open. Alright, I will classify this stuff, but I do want to see what it looks like. Packaging is really good. No leaks. I would say it's probably about 2 pounds of pay dirt. Very dry. Good Lord, look at the size of that rock. Yeah, very dry pay dirt, so I won't have to wet classify it. I don't have to dry it off. Still feel some dirt right there. There we go. Make sure I got everything. So there it is. Some big rocks in there, but not a whole lot of pay dirt as far as, you know, panning out. So we'll go ahead and classify this stuff down and see what we got. Okay, normally I would start with these and do, depending on how big it is, but I'm not going to use this type of classifier for everything. I'll probably use these little green ones for the smaller stuff, but I do not have a 1/4 inch classifier for those small green ones, so I'm going to use my 1/4 inch for this just to start out with. So go ahead and dump it all in there at once. Tap that in there. Shake it all up. This is what we got so far. No gold, but didn't expect gold. There is some quartz in there, so I will be pulling that out once I start panning it and putting it in my quartz box or tub or whatever you want to call it. So let's get that in there. Cool. So there's the plus 1/4 inch, and we'll use my green classifiers for the rest of it. All right, so this is my 1/8 inch, so I'll go ahead and pour this in there. Actually, this is my 10 mesh. They didn't do a 1/4. I think it's pretty much the same though. 1/8 inch, 10 mesh. So there's that. Put the rest of that in here as well. All right. How do I want to classify this down now? I guess we'll go ahead and do my 20. And for anybody who is new at seeing what this is, what I'm doing, it is so much easier to pan your material if you classify it down and keep everything as even as possible. Because you don't want big rocks in small material, because that could keep a piece of gold from staying in the pan. It could drag it with the big rock. So it's just always the easiest way to pan is to classify it, which means break down the material evenly. Like this material is even with this material is even all together. So it just makes it easier to pan. That's probably the worst description on why people classify that I've ever done. You classify so you can keep all your material even when you pan. Let's just say that. Not say anymore. All right, so that should be good enough. So there is my plus 20 material. There is my plus 20 material right there. And we'll just finish it off with the 40. So I'm gonna find my 40. And usually what I do with all of my minus 40, anything that's under 40, I will put in my sluice box and I will pan it that way. I don't think I'm gonna have as much. Pretty even so far. You don't have to do this, but when you don't know what kind of gold that you do have, it's better to do it this way, because if you have any super fine flowery gold, you'll lose it if you don't classify it. If it's bigger chunks of gold, probably don't have to do as much classification, but you really don't know what kind of gold you're getting when you get pay dirt anyway, so you might as well do it. So let's take a quick look, see what we got here. There's my plus 1/4, my plus 1/8, my plus 20, plus 40, minus 40. All right, now panning we will go. Again, this stuff says it's guaranteed 1 gram. They go ahead and put 1 gram of gold in there, so you at least know you're getting a gram. Usually when they guarantee you a gram, you will get a gram and maybe a couple of hundredths extra. So we'll see when we pan. So let's get to doing that. Look at all this pay dirt I got. It's everywhere. Ooh, I love it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pan this entire thing right here. This is all the plus 1/4 inch. I'm putting this big rock in here just to break up anything that's on there, the material. If that's a piece of quartz, that is going to be fun to break apart. Look at the size of that they put in there. You can see the quartz inside, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if I want to break that up or not. It's a combination of quartz and rock and all kinds of stuff. Really cool. Anything that's quartz, I'm going to break down, bust it up and see what comes out of it. And there's probably not any gold in it, but since I do have a rock crusher, I like to use it. I have found gold before in quartz from Chrism Gold Mine, so I just pretty much do it with any pay dirt that I get, or anywhere I go. Even if I'm panning somewhere, I'll usually take some bigger pieces of quartz that I think might have gold in it, and I'll bring it home and crush it. Obviously no gold. I think we pretty much knew that going in. So this is my 1/8 inch stuff. Not a whole lot in it, so we'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and do about half. That was definitely more than half. Go ahead and stratify this. Basically all I'm doing, if you're watching this for the first time and never seen gold panning, or you're wanting to learn, all I'm doing is breaking up the dirt on these rocks, as well as trying to get all of the gold, if there's any in the gold, pushed to the bottom. Anytime I put dry rock that's got dirt on it, I'll dump it into another bucket, because I try to keep my panning water as clean as possible so I can see what's coming out of it when I start panning. And everybody has a different technique on how to pan. If you see me picking stuff out of this while I'm panning it, I'm picking quartz out if I think that it could hold some gold. There's really no way of telling until you just bust it to pieces and then pan it out. But if it's a decent sized piece, I'm going to pull it out, stick it over in my quartz bucket. And as I'm panning it, I'm not forcing anything. All I'm doing is letting the water come up, and then I just lift it up, and all that water is pulling the lighter material off. If there's any gold in this, it should be at the very bottom. And then once I get so much out, I'll either turn it, because these are the ripples that I'm using to catch anything that might have gotten away. But once I get to a certain point, I will use the smoother surface that's got these sandpaper abrasions in it that will collect some heavier rocks and keep them from flying off. But usually this is only good for really smaller material. All right, that's enough. Let's pan it back. And I can tell you right now, there is no gold. Try it again. Sometimes you can hear the gold bouncing off of the plastic in the pan, depending on the material. But I think I hear a clinker. Gold makes a really distinctive sound in a pan. I've learned that over the 8 or 9 months that I've been panning. All right, I think that's enough. I don't know if you can hear it. It just sounds like something. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Let's pan it back. I can already see it. Nice. So yeah, that was what was causing that clinking sound. And that's a nice little piece of gold right there. It's definitely a picker. That's a cool piece too. Long, rounded off. You can tell it's been beaten up, folded over a few times. Cool. First piece of gold from Vendetta Prospecting. But listen to the sound. You hear that sound? Then when you shake it, it's very heavy, so it just makes a more distinctive sound. All right, let's move to the other material. Same thing, we'll do half and half. Look at all that. Wow. Probably should have pulled all the magnetic material out, but I always forget that part. And I always tap the back of this with the water in there because what it does is it brings the heavier materials back and the lighter stuff in front. So this next batch, after I pull all this gold up, I will run a magnet over that last remaining material I have on my plus 20. Suck all that stuff up. All right, so I do have a neodymium magnet. I use a prescription pill bottle because this magnet fits perfectly in there. And I do use a screwdriver head, stick that on top of there, and then put that in here. And then I'll run this over and collect whatever magnetic material is in there. And as you can see, there is quite a few pieces of magnetic material. Dump that right here. And then I just hold on to this and pull this up, and it drops everything down. So it's really convenient. There's all the magnetic material. And I still pan this stuff out just because some gold might get trapped in the magnetic material. Gold itself is not magnetic, obviously. We're doing that because magnetic material is very heavy and it can sometimes get caught up into the gold and make it harder to pan. So yeah, there's all the magnetic material. No gold in there. I'll go ahead and just pan it all off, and then we'll get the rest of that out. Alright, so I finished that. Sorry folks, but my camera keeps overheating and I don't know why. It only does it when I'm in this garage, and the garage is not warm whatsoever. So I got a couple of little flakes out of that one. So this time I'm going to do this neodymium magnet because, man, there was a ton of magnetic material. So that's good. Look at this. Look at all that. Isn't that cool? That's kind of cool. So yeah, a lot of magnetic material in this smaller stuff. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So we'll go ahead and put this in a pan, pan it out. Magnetic material is very hard to pan out, but we want to pan it out just to make sure that there's no gold that got stuck in between that magnetic material. I think we pretty much got all of that out, so there is no gold in there. So we'll go ahead and chuck that in the pan. I bet that other one that we have left, the smallest stuff, the -40, I bet that's got a ton of magnetic material in it. So we'll probably do the same to that as well. But this will be a lot easier to pan now that all that stuff's out of there. So let's see what we get. See a piece of gold sticking out, so let's go ahead and start panning it back. Oh yeah, look at all that gold. Notice how that heavier gold stays back because it's still heavier than those sands. Try to clean this gold as much as possible before I put it in my snuffer bottle, but there it is. All kinds of little bitty pieces, 20, 30, maybe even more than that. Awesome. All right, let's move to the super small stuff. We'll run a magnet on it first. So this is the last bit of it. I'm gonna take my magnet. I can already tell you it's gonna just clog up. I can see black sands everywhere. Look at that. See all that magnetic material? Man, there is a ton of it. Look at that. That's so cool. You can see the magnetic material at the top, all that black. There's so much in there, I have to use two hands to pull the magnet away from all this magnetic material. Look at that. That is so cool. It's actually one of my favorite parts about about panning when I remove magnetic material is this stuff. It's so cool to see. But that's just round one. I bet there's a lot more in there. Look at that. Good Lord. God. Look at that. That is a buttload of magnetic material. Let's keep going. More. Look at this. There's hardly any dirt left. It's all magnetic material. Look at that. That's round 3. Okay, so just to give you an idea of how much magnetic material was in there, that's what's left over. That's the actual non-magnetic material. And that's the magnetic material. So I would say that was, what, 50-50? I mean, geez Louise, I've never pulled that much magnetic material out of pay dirt. I don't think I'm gonna pan this yet because I did pull it out twice to make sure there was no gold. What I usually do is I'll pull it up and then I'll push it back down into the dirt and then pull it up again to break up some of that dirt. Man, that is a lot of magnetic material. That's insane. After I put all that magnetic material, I separated it again. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's not magnetic material, but it got caught up in the stuff that I pulled out. So this is the last bunch that I have of the -40 pay dirt on the Vendetta Prospecting pay dirt bag. Let's see what we got. Ooh, muddy. Like chocolate milk. Yum. Yeah, I was going to put it in a sluice box, but I mean, after taking all the magnetic material out, there was hardly any regular dirt left. It would have been like 2 spoonfuls and I would have had to pan it anyway. So, oh yeah, there's your gold. Yeah, there's gold up at the top too. Be a little more careful here. All right. So let's take a looky here. Let me draw all that crud back. There's the gold. So nothing left to do now except dry it up, weigh it, and see how much gold we got from this Vendetta Prospecting. Okay, so I'm back in my room and it's time to weigh this pay dirt. Let's put it in and weigh it up. First of all, I'll show you what it looks like dried up. There it is. I have a hard time getting a good focus on it, but there it is right there. Let's see what it weighs on the scales. I got so much junk on my desk right now. It's ridiculous. So here's the scales sitting at 0. There's that one chunky piece of gold. Let me get some more light on that. Let's weigh that one first. That's a shiny piece. So that one alone weighs 0.262. And let's add the rest. It doesn't even look like it's the same gold. This one looks a lot duller. Boom! 1.124 is what we have for that Vendetta Prospecting. Guaranteed 1 gram. We got that and a little bit more. So let's see how much it is with today's prices. Alright, so let's take a looky here and see what we got. So gold prices today are $1,817.61. It's a little bit higher up than it was earlier. We had 1.124 grams. We're going to call it 24 karat because it is natural placer gold, and I heard you can get that kind of value out of placer gold as long as you don't melt it. So calculate here, $65.68, and I paid 73. Yeah, really good. Let's take a look on the calculator and see what that is. So we put $65.68 is what percentage of $73? Calculate 89.97%. So we're going to call it 90% return on investment. So that's not bad at all. Didn't get 100% return, but 90% is good as well. And we'll take it. All right, so that does it for the Vendetta Prospecting $73 guaranteed gram of gold. I don't know if they call it the $73. You saw it earlier what it was called, the unknown pay dirt. But yeah, I did see where it said it promised 100% on return on investment, but I don't know if it meant that particular pay dirt. I think there's a specific bag that they do have for sale on their website that would give you 100% ROI if you buy it. I don't think it had anything to do with the $73 bag, but still 90% is excellent. This is the first time I ever bought Vendetta Prospecting. I did like it. Will I buy it again? Probably in the near future. I might get me a bigger bag. But one thing I will say that you can really tell was the gold that was in there did not come from the same area. The biggest piece I had was really shiny and gold. The other ones are a lot more dull. Usually if they dig it out of the same area, it's going to be the same color and the same texture and all that. But I don't know. I can't say they did and I can't say they didn't, but to me it looked like it came from 2 different areas. Okay, so that does it for this video of my pay dirt review of Vendetta Prospecting. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like, subscribe button, that share button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down there below. And I appreciate everyone who is watching, and until next time, peace and love. Bye.